All right, so Maniacs, today we are going to be watching a raw Chris Watts' mother, Cindy Watts, question son's plea deal. So if you like this type of content, all this Chris Watts stuff, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. We will react to more of this stuff. It just depends on how much you guys want to see it. So love it, support it, and all that great stuff. Subscribe to the channel. We're trying to hit 30,000 by Christmas, if that's even possible. I don't know if it is, but if it is, that's fantastic. But this kind of stuff is hard for me to get into because, and I don't necessarily get into it. I watch it because I find it to be interesting, first off, but I also this kind of content, man, and you're probably wondering, why are you watching it if you don't enjoy it? There's a part of me that is very fascinated and interested, but there's also a part of me that gets so disgusted while watching this stuff. I feel uncomfortable watching stuff like this, but I do enjoy giving my thoughts to you guys. You guys wanted to see more of this stuff, so we're gonna go ahead and do it. Here we go with an interview for Chris Watts' mother.
I wake up every morning just crying, thinking this is not going to be what's going to happen every single day. It's just so hard to get through it. I just don't know how to get through it.
Tell me about his childhood. Did he play sports? Was he in scouts? What kinds of things did
Yes,
he
he
do?
played sports. He played sports from the time he was 5 years old up until he was 17. And he was in basketball, he was in baseball, he was in football, and loved NASCAR. He and his dad went to the NASCAR races all the time.
I couldn't imagine what that must be like, just finding out that your son killed somebody or your daughter killed somebody and then having to talk about them on the news. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Loved sports. Loved sports. And he was a good kid.
Most of them start out that way. Yeah.
Two best friends, and that's who he grew up with, and still are friends with them today. And there's nothing that would have predicted any of this could have ever happened.
Yeah.
Nothing in his childhood at all. I would have never in a million years thought something like this could happen to him at all.
You didn't see things like him getting into fights? Or...
No fighting. He was quiet, and he got along with people, and he didn't start anything, and he was a perfect teenager, tell you the truth. He did not even rebel. He wanted to go to NASCAR Tech. We made that possible for him.
What did he do after he finished school?
He worked at the dealership as a service technician and was making good money and loved it. He bought a toolbox, and he started buying his tools, and enjoyed it. He was doing well.
When and where did he meet Shanann?
They met, and he liked her, she liked him, but it didn't, I don't think...
Wait, wasn't the question, when did he meet Shanann? Wasn't that the question?
Enjoyed it. He was doing well.
When and where did he meet Shanann?
They met.
When and where?
And
they met and they liked each other.
He liked her, she liked him, but it didn't, I don't think that was love at first sight or anything. They took a little while and I guess got to know each other and, dated. It was always a little strange that she always said a lot of things about Chris in front of me that I didn't like. Like, this isn't the kind of person I would date. He doesn't know how to do this, or he doesn't know how to do that. He looks like a skater boy.
That's
Look
fair.
at his hair. Look how much stuff he puts on his hair. It was just on and on and on, and I just got a bad feeling.
And they got married in 2012. Did they get married in North Carolina?
They did. Mm-hmm.
How was that?
Oh, we didn't attend.
Really?
Mm-mm. We didn't attend because Shanann and I just couldn't get along.
She really, it sounds like she's making it like Shanann's fault. Maybe I'm reading this wrong, but like she's really just going after Shanann. Like the second Shanann just got brought up, it's like, yeah, we just didn't get along. Yeah, she said all this stuff about my son, and but then she's talking all this great stuff. And again, this is her, this is Chris's mom. So like, I'm not surprised that she's more, she's trying to defend him as much as she can. I don't know. I got to listen to more of this.
And I didn't like the way she treated him.
What do you know about their marriage and their issues?
Oh, very little. Very little. You can only observe. I could only observe what I saw when I was around them. Christopher always seemed anxious, and he when she needed something, I mean, he would run. He wouldn't walk, he would run, he would get it. He just always seemed to be right there at her beck and call.
And did that seem odd to you? Or?
Very odd. It was very odd. He just seemed nervous.
So how much did you see them over these last 6 years?
Probably twice a year. We would go up there.
Did you stay with them, or?
Yeah, we would stay with them.
But you didn't attend their marriage?
Stay a week.
Isn't that what she said? She didn't like attend their wedding or anything like that because she just didn't like her, but they would go up there 2 times a year just to stay with them? I mean, I'm assuming she did it for the granddaughters, and the grandkids, but...
Tell me about Bella and Celeste.
Oh, Bella was just like Chris. Just like him, shy, cautious, conservative. Cece was a ball of fire. I mean, she was fearless, completely fearless. She just loved to run. So they were wonderful. It breaks my heart to know that they're not here. They were beautiful children, beautiful children.
What did they call you?
Mimi.
Mimi? And how about Ronnie? What did they call?
Papa.
Do you think Chris loves Shanann?
Oh God, he loved her. Yes, I believe he loved her at first.
No, I'm glad you specified.
But I think as the years went on, I think it just being in that kind of a relationship, which the social worker even said that marriage should have ended a long time ago.
Shanann's pregnancy and was what did Chris tell you about that? Was he excited?
No, I don't think he was. I think it was a shock to him. And he said that they have been talking about divorce, that they are not.
That would have been the better outcome.
Not compatible anymore, and he was not happy anymore. And I finally thought he's finally seen the light.
And I take it Chris had never been in trouble with the law?
Never. He's got 1 speeding ticket and didn't even know about that.
Well, now he's like dealing with the worst kind of the law. Yeah, the FBI and the police and stuff, and now life in prison. Goes from like almost nothing to like the worst.
Tell me what happened when they were reported missing. What did you find out? How did you find out? Who told you?
I think Ronnie called me. Ronnie called me and said that they're missing, and I thought, I don't believe it. I didn't believe they were missing. I believed that she was going to punish Chris. She was just going to punish him, take the girls, and just punish him. I had no idea of anything else. Christopher called and said, Mom, they're searching the house. I said, okay, that's fine. I mean, and I still was not worried. I was not worried. I just thought Shanann had run off with girls.
So walk me through the sequence of events over the next few days. Did you and your husband travel to Colorado?
Ronnie did.
Okay.
Ronnie did. And, I mean, Christopher let everybody come in. Her phone is there. Her purse is there. Everything is there. but there's no kids and there's no Shanann. And I was not worried. You know, I thought she is just.
Well, that's what you never like. At the end of the day, you would never expect your own kid to be a murderer. That's it's not like I'm mad at her for thinking the way she's thinking and saying the things she's saying. It's like at the end of the day, man, it's still her kid. At this rate, I'd be a little bit worried. I'd be a little concerned. I'm like, son, her purse is here, the car is here. Did they take a bus? Like, what are you saying at this point?
Gone off, and I'm going to punish you for this, and you can worry about me. But when Christopher called us and he said, I said, do you want us to come down now? He said, tell Dad I need him. Tell Dad I need him to come down. I said, what about me? He said, no, Mom, just stay. Just send Dad. And he picked him up at the airport, and they drove to the police station. And Chris still didn't say anything to him. Nothing. He had already been interrogated 7 hours prior to that. He had already let the police go into his home, search everything. He was going in for another interrogation. The next thing, after 5 hours, they called Ronnie and said that your son wants to talk to you before he tells us anything. And that's when Christopher broke down and cried and said, I'm sorry, Dad. He said, I went into a rage and I killed her after she killed Cece and Bella. And he found out where he is, and then they wouldn't let him see him. He couldn't see him. And so he was going back to the airport when his...
I'm kind of curious, does she believe that Shanann killed her grandkids? She didn't really touch upon that too much, but I'm almost, and I don't want to put words into other people's mouths, that's not what this is about, but like, I wonder if she believes that he didn't kill his children, but instead she believes his word and believes that Shanann killed the kids.
Public defender called him and told him to come back. So, and that's when Ronnie met his public defender. And so, talked to her for a while. And they kept in touch with us and let us know what's going on.
And then what was the next update that you got? Was it?
The next update I got was Ronnie called Jamie and told them they found their bodies. And they rushed over here. Nobody told me anything until they walked through the door. And they told me what happened, and I just fell to the floor. I just fell to the floor. It was unbelievable. And it's been unbelievable ever since. And
what did his attorneys tell you about contact with him, starting with his
none.
arrest?
No contact. Everything is recorded. No contact. No letter writing. I didn't see the harm in the letters. Hi, son. Love you. Keep fighting. We are here to support you. What is wrong with that? What can the DA do about letters like this? Why couldn't we just write him a letter? We did what we were told to do. When they called us to tell us that Chris was thinking of a plea, that he wanted to speak to us about it. And when we got down there, it was a lie. They wouldn't let us talk to him about anything. And then we had to talk to him through a screen and a phone. And he just looked, he was crying. I mean, he wasn't crying. You could see the movement in his mouth that when I talked about Bella and I talked about Cece and the memorial service that we had for them. And he asked what pictures did we use, and what was the song. You can see how he was trying to hold back tears.
What day was that? Do you remember?
Well, we flew in on that Monday. We flew in on Monday, and we saw him Monday night, and then the plea deal was on Tuesday.
So Monday night was when you wanted to talk to him about
Yes, and we weren't allowed. And it It would have helped us so much.
I can't get over the fact that he would want, why he sounds so fucking concerned about what songs they're gonna play, and what pictures they're gonna use at their funeral service. Makes me kind of sick. Like, where was that compassion when you fucking smothered them? This is why true crime shit, man, is really hard for me to get into, because it's like, I don't get into it or talk about it. It's just because it's like,
To be able to talk to him, I wouldn't have to go through all this now. Everything just seems to be shrouded in secrecy. And just tell us what is going on. Let us ask Chris if it's okay if you talk to us. I just don't like the way it was handled from the very beginning. I don't like the way it was handled. I want to save your life. That's all. We're just here. We're going to save his life. We want him to get life in prison. It was like they already knew he was guilty. And this was the end of it.
Were you worried about the death penalty being a possibility?
No.
because he admitted to it, though. He had admitted to it. Like, he was already guilty. Well, he did say, and everything that he's done does not help him in any sort of way. Again, I can't get mad at her because this is his mom at the end of the day. I'm going to keep that in the back of my mind this entire time, that this is his mom talking. And you can't blame her for trying to find any ounce of any sort of evidence that he could be, let's say, actually not as guilty as that he appears. But he did it to himself. He is literally making himself look like the guiltiest person on the planet. And he is guilty. He did do it because he admitted to it. So, yeah.
No, I didn't care about the death penalty. Nobody's going to die in Colorado. I don't think anyone has. What, one person? And Colorado is changing. So people stay on death row forever. There was no, I think you'd be safer on death row. And her parents said they didn't want any more death. So I don't see how the death penalty could have mattered. All I want is the truth. I just want the truth. That's it. And I know Chris, he would take responsibility. And I guess
So she does believe that Chris actually did kill Shanann, but she was killing her kids. That's the truth, I guess, is what I don't know.
maybe he is. I don't know. I don't know. I just can't see him doing that.
Well, it's your kid. I can't blame you.
What do you think the truth is about how Shanann and Bella and Celeste died?
Oh, God, I don't know anymore, honestly. I don't know his frame of mind, and I don't know his frame of mind, because why would you plead guilty to something you didn't do? And that's all I want to know. Why would you plead guilty if you didn't do it? If you told your dad you didn't do it? And that's what I want to know.
Because he was trying to ride it out as long as he could. But then he realized he couldn't because he felt he was... He knew that he was fucked at the end of the day. He knew it. He knew that he failed the test. He couldn't fake that.
And they said, well, you'll find all that out. Christopher will talk to you when and after he's sentenced. Well, isn't that too late then? I mean, isn't it too late? What if he tells me, no, I didn't do it? I just took this plea deal because they told me I was going to go to jail anyways. I just want the truth. All of us just want the truth. That's all. But I would like to know what triggered it. How can a normal young man, and he's normal. He was normal, but he wasn't evaluated when he came into the system. He wasn't normal if he did this.
I mean, the only thing the interviewer can just do is agree with her. I mean, just shake his head, yep, because it's like I think everybody at this point just kind of knew Chris Watts was responsible for it, and Nicole Kessinger might also be a runner-up for also somebody being involved with it. But yeah, at this rate, there's really nothing to even argue about. I mean, it really
Must be bewildering.
It's bewildering to me. It is. It is absolutely. How does this happen? How did this happen? And I go back in my mind thinking, was there something I didn't pick up with on Chris? But I can't think of anything except he was quiet.
It sounds like in your own mind, You're unsure as to what happened.
Yes.
Have you
That's fair.
reconciled the idea that he could have done all of this?
Yes. And
Okay.
that scares me to death.
I bet. At the end of the day, I don't think she's a bad person, but at the end of the day, I also think that in her defense, this is the person she raised. This is her child. And I don't think any mom would ever want to acknowledge or accept the harsh reality that their kid could be a murderer. The fact that he took, her grandchildren from her, her daughter-in-law, even knowing apparently she wasn't that fond of her daughter-in-law, and it was your own son who did it too. That's a very harsh and dark truth to be accepting of. I can't blame her at the end of the day, but at least it's crossed her mind that she could accept that maybe this is what happened. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it is what happened. At the end of the day, it is what happened. And the only bit of evidence I needed for me to know that is how he reacted to the truck backing up into the house. The footage on the camera is all I needed to know that this guy was guilty as fuck. The way he acted when he put his hands on his head, he was stressed out. That's the moment you realize this was like, I fucked up. I fucked up. I got caught in the act. Automatically knew that's what it was.
It scares me to death to think that he could have done all of this. And I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there right now. But I don't see why he's pleading guilty. I wouldn't. I'd fight. I'd fight to the end. But then you ask yourself, would a normal person dispose of the bodies the way you did? And I would have called 911 if it happened like that.
What would you say to Chris right now if he were sitting here?
If we were by ourselves,
Yeah.
I would say, Christopher, I need to know what happened that night. I need to know what happened. I've got to get these thoughts out of my head, what I think could have happened, but I need to know.
I wonder.
And I think in time he will tell me.
Probably nothing you ever would have imagined you would have faced.
Never.
God, I actually feel bad for her now. Like, this is something that she's dreading. You could tell in how shaky her voice is. This is something she almost doesn't want to know, but she's terrified. Like, she wants to know, but she's terrified to get the answer. And I think she knows the answer. I do. I think she just doesn't want the clarification because she knows that would have to mean she would have to accept her son took their lives because he was just done.
No, and not from the son that I raised and Ronnie raised and our children. We just did everything for them. We worked for them. We wanted them to have a good life, good education, and we stressed education. And they were both doing well. I thought, I knew marriages can be bad, but you can get out of them and go on. But I don't know what was going through anybody's mind that night. I mean, I feel too much. I definitely feel everything way too much and have a conscience that I just feel way too much.
What do you want to happen now? What would you hope would happen now?
That's a hard one.
Well, I want Chris to have his day in court. I need to know. I'd feel wonderful if I could talk to him and he could tell me what happened. And then we can all go on. But if he didn't do it, if he did not do this, then I need somebody to defend him. I need someone to defend him if he did not do this. Do they have the evidence?
They kind of do.
He's my son. I got to do everything I've got to do everything I can to help.
That's what I was looking for. That is the confirmation I was looking for. That is exactly her mindset, and I can't blame her. I cannot blame her for having that mindset. I can't. I'm actually kind of relieved she said that. You know, even she said it in a way I figured that any parent would say it in this kind of retrospect. He's my son. The guy's evil. The guy is absolutely 100% sick for what he did. But when it comes to the parents of these people, I do not hold them responsible. I don't blame them for having this mindset.
To make sure that he is defended properly. But he said this is his decision, so I don't know. There's doubt. I have doubt that he did it. I can't see that he did it. I just cannot see him doing that as much as he loved his girls. How do you do that? I just don't see it. I just can't see him doing it. I just wanted to make sure that he has, I just wanted a defense. I wanted him to be defended.
And you haven't had any discussions with his attorneys about this?
No. I asked them, do you know what happened? They said, no. We don't. Only person that knows what happened is Chris. Well, then he's told you his story, you know, in the affidavit.
I'll tell you right now, the reason why he did it is because of what happened to the bodies. That's how you know he did it. They ended up being buried, hidden. He was nervous about the cops showing up to his house. He didn't want the cops showing up to his house. He got home. He was shown the evidence from next door. He looked guilty as fuck. That's how I know he did it. Just by every single way he handled himself in the entire process. You knew he was guilty.
They said they would defend him if he wanted to go forward, but he said he didn't want to go forward.
And the bottom line is you would have liked to have been part of that discussion with him
I would
before he
have.
made that decision.
That's what I thought we were going down there for. At least let us talk to him. Let us talk to him. It would have made all the difference in the world if they would have just let us talk to him. If he was going to do this, what difference does it make who's listening? But he has our love. He has our unconditional love. I will never abandon my son. He did a horrible, horrible, if that comes to pass that he did this, then I still love him. He's my son. And I will always love him. And a lot of people don't understand that, and I don't understand that.
That's the thing. I can't, again, I cannot not blame her. I can't. I'm not someone in this position to talk like I would know what would be going through her mind. I am not in that position. All I can do is watch what I'm watching and give you guys my thoughts. And I do not know what it's like to be in that situation of a loved one or a family member being on the pedestal for being talked about as a murderer and doing the murder. I just can't do that. And I'm not a parent, so I don't know the feeling. But no, everybody on the outside is going to be like, how could you do this? Even if he's your son, how could you? It's like you don't know what that must be like.
They don't.
Crazy.
Well, could you talk a little bit about some things we talked about yesterday? You said, I think your exact words were, he's not the psychopath next door.
He isn't. He's not the sociopath next door. He's not the psychopath. He didn't kill little small animals. He didn't do any of these things. He was a good child. I didn't see anything.
May have been a good child, but that doesn't mean he's a good person. Doesn't mean he's a good adult. May have been a good kid, but that doesn't mean he's a good adult.
I didn't see anything that was abnormal about him, except he was socially awkward. He had trouble socializing, but so did I when I was younger. I think you learn that as you grow, and I think he felt a little bit more comfortable in his skin, and he just, I don't think he just had the right person at his side. I don't. That relationship was toxic from the very beginning.
What would you say to Shanann's family if you could talk to them?
God, I'm so sorry this happened. For both our families, because we both lost everything. They lost a daughter, we lost our son, we lost our grandchildren. we all lost. Everybody did. And you'll never get it back. And they were precious. They were so, so precious.
There's really not anything you can say that would sway their mind. They're nothing. And again, I'm not gonna throw oranges and apples at them for having that thought. It's just I can't do that. Should have just ended it. Should have just packed up his shit and walked out of the house and left. That would have been it. Saying we're getting a divorce, bye. A lot more of a respectable way to approach it than doing what he did. I don't know. It's dark, man. It's dark. These conversations can get dark. Guys, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I will do more of this kind of content. You just got to show this love, show the support, and I'll check you guys out in the next video. Keep it retro. Do take care.